is the Florence Ghost Town. We are exploring it. There's New Florence and Old Florence, and then the cemetery we're gonna check out today. Come along for the journey.
We're heading towards the Florence Cemetery and the site of Old Florence from 1862. We're crossing the bridge to the cemetery. This is pretty exciting. What do you love about cemeteries?
I'm not a big fan of them, honestly. I find them creepy.
I think they're great. It's like a wrecking yard of humans. The town of Florence timeline. 1861, September 1861 was the discovery. 5 men prospecting on river bars along the Salmon River decided to work up in the mountains. They located abundance of fine gold in the sands along the creeks and the mountains. Word was out by late fall. The early boom was the winter of 1861 through 1862. A total of 3,000 people flocked to the area, and over $1 million in gold was produced from the Placer mines alone. By May of 1862, the area reached its peak population of 9,000 people. Miners produced $7 million in gold that year. By early August 1862, 6,000 people left the area due to unavailability of paying mining claims. That's a huge change from May to August to have 6,000 people leave. Only 3,000 people remained. The influx of the Chinese by 1863, the big rush was over, but mining activity continued for the next 20 years. A mixed population of Chinese and white miners worked their diggings. The quartz revival after the panic of 1893, gold prices surged. New Florence was built. Most of Old Florence was razed to collect gold lost through the floors. Dredging. Some of the large dredges used to dig the deep, wet areas and peat deposits. Much stream channel disturbance occurred at this time. Oblivion. Records show that in 1940, only 10 people remained in Florence. At present, prospecting is done during the summer months alone. Building indicated in the red arrow is Cherokee Bob's Boomerang Saloon. Old Florence in 1896. This is a picture from the New Florence 1896. Here is a picture of New Florence as of 1910. Here's the New Florence school children in 1898. Judging from the size of the cemetery, I would guess that there wasn't people dying every day. I think that's a slight exaggeration. I do think that it was probably a chaotic town for those 3 months when all those people moved here from May to August in 1862. I would just imagine that's where most of the violence came, but the cemetery wasn't big enough. It really isn't big enough for there to be that many people unless they're buried on top of people. At least that would be my impression. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Definitely they put some new, I wouldn't say they're new headstones. I'm not sure when they restored them, but some markers in there. Obviously there's probably quite a few people buried there between the harsh winters and the craziness of the town and just the harsh life of being a miner.
This is part of the Summit Creek ditch. And I'm guessing that the ditches were dug to bring water into the town and from the creek, but there's nothing really showing about that. But you can see on this side of the road too, there's the ditch down there and actually has water in it. It's mostly mosquitoes and disgusting right now, but pretty interesting. Quite a lot of digging to make that happen. Here is the main street of Old Florence. Mostly a gravel road and marshy land. Well, it's come time to lock you up.
No way.
Into the jail with you. I'm gonna put you into the back.
Wow, it's really dark in here.
Back room. This is gonna be your home for tonight.
No way. It's really dark.
We'll let you out later on. I have to stay in my front, this little front room here. It's a rather small area, actually. It's a very rudimentary jail shack, I would say. But the jail actually has a bigger area in here than the front room.
Yes.
I think you're better off being a jailbird than you are being a jailkeeper. Well, you've done your time. Come on out.
Excellent.
Florence, this is one of the old remnant structures left. You can see here it's kind of built into the hillside, which was kind of a clever idea. There's a stick here labeled WBS. Maybe that stands for somebody's name or something like that. Let's see what else we can find. This is Canfield Place. This is
Come on in.
the best out of the building's construction that's seen so far. You can see they've redone all of the rafters above us. The roof. But a lot of this wood appears original. Even the floor is this rough cut old boards. They're really big. There's a bit of a fire you can see from the outside where the stove went in, and on the back there's quite a bit of area that's kind of like charred and stuff over here, and you can see that this area right up in here where the flue went out for the stove got burned. All these boards are burned too. But that's the best, most original building that we found.
It's actually standing.
With the exception of one other. Let's go check that out. Here is the most original building of this town. Check this out. It has 2 spots to go. How great is that? The last remaining original building of the town turns out to be an outhouse. That's kind of ironic. And here is the town dump. Apparently, people don't change much. They threw stuff out then and they throw stuff out now. We found more of the town. Check this out.
This is a big
Here's another old building there, and then over back this direction, check this out. One of the bigger
old building.
One of the bigger buildings here. This thing is quite large. Basically it's all fallen down.
Yeah.
But that would have been a cool one to restore probably. At least they had the original location for it and some of the original lumber. But maybe that's on the horizon for there.
Oh, it might be an old outhouse.
What did you find here, babe?
Possibly another outhouse.
Oh man. That's
I would
pretty
say
great.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Oh yes. That is definitely an outhouse. Well, I would say that is an outhouse with a view, because check out the whole valley behind us. That's pretty awesome.
We found a pretty steep hill, leaving the little area that we found from the forestry. Woo! That's quite the tilt. I'm not sure I secured the avocado. It might be rolling around in the bag. Maybe I should check. That was fun.
Maybe a mining type structure. It says property of the United States, and inside it appears old. There's some old furniture, a bed, a loft area, but it's a lot newer than this other stuff. There's no other markings on it.
Interesting.
Kind of just an interesting thing.
This section of road has been kind of fun. There's been some washout sections that we've gone through. It's been pretty good overall, just mainly tree dodging. I'm outside to make sure that Peter's clearing this tree that's partially over the road. You're clear of it, babe. Perfect, just come straight forward. And watch out for that stabby guy. Nice work. We are on the river, the Salmon River, and the trek goes along here for a while. It's absolutely beautiful. We are headed up the Salmon River, and we're about to actually head out of the valley tomorrow, but we decided to camp here tonight because it's absolutely beautiful. The temperatures are a little bit higher than we've been experiencing. It's actually 97 degrees. I think we're gonna go for a dip. But the really cool thing is that they have little campgrounds, meaning one spot where they provide bathroom and access and all of that all the way down the river. They have a bigger campground as we came out of the forestry area, but I think it's really neat that they're providing access and ability to, you know, be on the water and explore and have fun.
Well, we had an amazing free campsite right on the lower Salmon River.
Yeah.
Last night. It was pretty epic. You can see there's the river right behind us. Oh, sorry. Right behind us. But check out the beach here. White sandy shore here and the river. Oh man, beautiful. We went swimming yesterday and there's this little kind of peninsula, sandy peninsula thing, and we were out there enjoying the sun. It was almost 100 degrees yesterday, and it's crazy this morning. Look how smooth the water is all the way down there. This is a river, and a lot of the sections are rapids. There's a bunch of people in rafts going down the river, but talk about an epic place to spend the night. That's awesome. We're gonna keep rolling today. Let's get started.
We are heading up to the switchbacks on French Creek. And as you can see, it is very, very steep and very beautiful. The switchback goes up and then it is carved into the mountainside. We've already come up pretty significant grade. Our road is that one right there across the way. And it does say this road is not suitable for passenger vehicles. I'm guessing because it's not as well maintained and it's slightly degraded. This is the second switchback technically, but the first of the really steep section. And it's about a car width and it's pretty narrow in certain sections. There are some passing lanes. You do want to be really mindful of other vehicles. That way you don't go head on to people. See our road, that was the first switchback into the tighter section right over there. We are about 3/4 of the way up the switchbacks, and as you can see, they wind through here and up there. That is the second switchback, I believe. There's one below that. It's actually really, really cool the way it winds through the mountains. And it's hard to kind of see, but these two cut-ins right here and here are gonna take us up to the top of the peak. As you can see, the road is actually fairly nice, and it's wide enough to where you can get off in sections to allow people to pass. The corners have been really nice because they're about a vehicle and a half, giving you a little bit more room to pass. We weren't quite sure how steep and how narrow and blind this was going to be, but it's been pretty nice. On the route up the French Creek area, we found this old bus. It was marked on our map, and it looks as if someone used to live in it. It's been converted, but I'm guessing it must have broken down, which is why it was abandoned here. It's been pretty stripped on the inside. You can see a couple of things. There's a lot of bees. I'm not going to go in there. But you can see the house wall that they built and the outlet, and it looks like a cabinet, and then I think this would have been the bed platform right there, and there must have been a stove. It seems that it burnt the paint off the roof. What do you think, honey?
The old bus. Well, it's marked on the map, and certainly it's here. It appears to be a homemade conversion done poorly that probably broke down. I'm guessing that's the history of it, but it's kind of an interesting stop.
We are still heading south, and as you can see, the view is beautiful. I wish it wasn't quite as smoky. The wind has picked up and the smoke is quite bad. We're passing on this bridge.
The Elk Creek Cemetery. Well, the best part about the cemetery is that they put this placard with all of the stories behind all the deaths of these people, which is actually kind of crazy because these people are nuts, but it's kind of an interesting deal. I always think of cemeteries like wrecking yards because there's a story behind every crash.
Most of these people died from freak accidents.
It was weird stuff.
Such as a road crew doing demolition up the way. One of the guys got hit in the head with a rock that went flying from the demo that he didn't know was going on. That sounds terrible.
Well, we've been bouncing along this route for many hours today, and we have come to a juncture to Pilot's Peak.
Lookout.
Oops. Pilot Peak Lookout. And it's up that away. The question is, should we do it?
Do we go?
Do we go? Should we go?
I'm game. How about you, babe?
I guess we could do it.
Yay!
Maybe we'll camp at the top.
We're almost to the lookout tower. You ready?
Yeah, we're gonna walk up. We met the guy that's, I guess, manning the tower right now, and he said, oh, there's no room at the top to turn around. Just park on this last switchback. Anyways, you can see where we're at right now.
So that's where we parked, on the last switchback. It is very nice looking, and I'm sure the view up here is awesome. The keeper is not home, and we are after hours, which means we will not go inside.
Well, it's a lot of view of a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
But
very recent burns too.
You gotta go smooth. Poor people get whiplash.
Sorry.
Sorry, people. Well, you can see the view. Well, it's great of the flag,
sucked in,
but not much of the valley.
Yeah. The switchbacks are probably the tightest that we have encountered thus far. It is a good thing that we have the slightly shorter wheelbase. Peter and I were talking that turning is not so easy. As you can see, it is definitely a one-lane road, and it's got quite the drop-off, which makes it a little scary. So you can see Peter is riding all the way on the inside edge in order to get the front end to turn around. Ha! Very tight switchback. Drive in here is not a terrible road. We had to do some trimming with some dead trees, but it's a bit exposed, and you can see quite a ways down there. However, the road is decently sized. The truck does fit on it. There's a few narrow sections. There are some pull-offs, but hopefully we won't encounter anyone else. That way we don't have to try to pass people.
Well, we camped last night just underneath the fire lookout tower, and today we're gonna make some ground and probably see about camping at a reservoir, possibly doing a little bit of paddling tomorrow. It appears as though we might be in for some rain here today or tonight. And thought, oh, maybe if we get down on elevation, it would be a little bit better. Now, if you look over that road right there, it's really tempting. There's actually a radio tower at the top of that, which is over 9,000 feet, which would be pretty cool to go to, but I think we will. The
lightning tonight is a little concerning, considering it's the highest peak in the mountain range, and it's next to a radio tower.
We might be better off rolling down. And we're getting a little bit low on fuel. We're down a quarter tank, and it wouldn't hurt to find a place if there is a little town or something. We'll find out.
We came a little bit of ways down the hill, and it's just absolutely beautiful. As you can see, it's wide open. It is just a gorgeous drive. We're on one of the switchbacks. These ones aren't too bad. These are actually pretty wide. And the road's pretty well maintained, making it a lot nicer. We haven't had, you know, many trees in our path. I think we had one come across us. Looks like we found an old forestry cabin. It's his property of the United States. And it looks, I think they're probably still storing some things in here. As you can see, there's this lean-to.
And over here is an old outhouse, looks like. There's actually a modern seat in there. And then over here, got an old stove. Check this out. It's a little rusty, but kind of cool. Got a another shed outbuilding here. And then over this direction, we've got the old cabin type of house. It looks like it's been maintained a bit, but it's all boarded up at the moment. It's kind of interesting. Not sure what they're using it for right now. Oh, here's somebody else too. What'd you find inside?
Well, it looks that there is a couple of chairs, an old bed that's been turned on its side, and a table, and a lot of mouse droppings. I don't know that this has been used in this season.
Yeah, it looks like they may have acquired this property. Thanks for watching this section. If you haven't checked out the previous sections, check those out. And then we will be posting more of this backcountry route. So stay tuned on that. Give us a thumbs up. We will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.